Hello and welcome back. Excellent topic today. I was asked to divulge more of my thoughts on karmic debt today, and boy, do I have some personal theories. Boy, did I take notes. I don't know about you guys, but when you have like a aha moment of like everything makes sense thought, like it feels as if it's not coming from the recesses of your own mind, but rather from an external place. Like in my opinion, it's source energy. It's like the iCloud of all the unconditioned, or it's the iCloud of the collective consciousness. So I tapped into the iCloud and I downloaded this info, but I don't have like terabytes of space up here, right? So like Notes app, because I'm still a person, okay? Still a human being, all right? So bear with the notes. It's good. All right. When we think karma, and people make a joke out of it, like, oh, I must have some really bad karma from my past life. That's why all these things keep happening to me. That's just a lack of faith, honestly. And you're believing that you deserve to be punished. But, like, I don't believe that. I just don't. Because from what I've learned, from just how I feel and how I sense the engulfing of the universe, and trust me, I've been in my fair share of shit. But I just don't believe that. I believe it's an us thing. It's an our own personal energy vibration which attracts this feeling of karma, especially in that sense, when you're like, I don't know where it's coming from. I live a decent life. Like, I'm a good person. Like, but things just keep happening. And, like, that's because there's a lesson to be learned. But if you just keep chalking it up to karma, you're not going to go down the rabbit hole and eradicate the repetition of the cycle or break the generational curse, whatever it is that it's asking for you to pay attention to. I don't know. I don't go into past lives. Why? Because I've lived so many lives in just this one that I personally don't care. I don't care. There's like 20 lives I've already lived in this body. So let's just focus on that, because I don't have answers for you about the other stuff. I could tell you from the multitudes of lives I've lived in on this planet, in this state of being, in this body, this is what karma is to me. Karmic debt is the attraction of the same vibrational frequency that you are vibrating at after years of self-deprecation, causing harm to others, being of not pure intention, etc., etc. When one decides to change for good, the vibrational transition does not immediately occur, only the will to change. What does that mean? Just because I think I want better, that doesn't exist. It's a thought. Where is that intangible world? Where is it? Right. You have to bring that thought into your tangibility of reality. So what does that mean? It means I want to change for good. That's the thought. Attached to the physical action of change. So one needs to start physically, tangibly changing in their lifestyle, their way of being, the things they are consumed with or a part of or whatever. While we're changing, though, trying to do better, do good, we're still sitting in the vibrational frequency that of guilt, shame, anger, fear, resentment, because now with new pure intention, your mind shifts perspective to seeing all these injustices, also seeing your own hand in injustice and things of that nature. So, even though your lifestyle looks different in the beginning, you are still vibrating at a frequency of a low vibration. So, this stage of the transition from good, let's just say bad, good and evil, whatever, evil to good, right? Like just generically. It's going to take extra hope, faith, and trust because you're still attracting crap even though you're doing the right thing, because you still have inlaid it in your heart the guilt, the shame, and negative or low vibrational frequencies of that nature. If one can make it over this hurdle of doing good, attracting bad, of doing good and attracting bad, then one is rewarded with the higher vibrational state of hope, wonder, faith, and the biggest one of all, overcoming. Because you prove to yourself that this is the journey that's worth it. But it's more than that. It feels like the universe is asking you, are you sure you want to commit to pure intentions and goodness? Prove it. Because you're not going to be gifted this beautiful, pure intentioned life if you're just going to bleed bad into the good. It's like you say you want change and then you go to church to initiate that change, but you steal from the collection box. Do you see what I'm saying? That's why you don't get ultimate, immediate admission into the side of good. There are checks and balances to make sure that you are not weaseling into the side of good to then create bad, like sabotage, because this is still spiritual warfare out here, guys. Like, it's a bigger thing than just you. It's not just about you. So we got to make sure that we've earned it. We've proved it. We've proved that even still, you're still throwing crap at me, and I still choose to overcome. And then that mentality is what helps you break the shackles of guilt and shame, because overcoming is the best healer for all of that. So it's almost like a practice. Karmic debt is like a system put in place to weed out the succumbers versus the overcomers, the ones who really want this change. So you start stepping into this new power, you start to change your lifestyle, you start to put down things that aren't good, you stop lying, you stop cheating, you stop stealing, things of that nature. However, upon doing that and having that recollection of, I gotta stop this lifestyle, that right there, that switch that you get, is when you start feeling very shameful and guilty for the way you've been acting for so long. And that too is going to attract more of that, more things to feel guilty and shameful for. But you have to not succumb and return to the old ways. You have to prove to yourself and to God and the universe that not only are you an overcomer, you are capable of overcoming, meaning you have the tools and the mindset and the perspective shift. You have all the tools, the ingredients per se, to bake the cake of excellence that is the side of good, right? Of overcoming. Because it's all a system set up to get us to disassemble, to abolish old patterns of self-punishment, punishment of others, all of that suffering. It's a program put in place to help you eradicate suffering. That's what, in my opinion, religion is. The story of Jesus Christ is trying so hard to get us to rise above the suffering that we keep inflicting because we're not utilizing the healthy coping tools. We're sinking into basically the devil, because the devil's the lower vibrational frequencies is the devil, right? Because like the universe and God doesn't want us to suffer. No. The devil wants you to suffer. So if you've been in suffer mode for a super long time, How do we know you're not just an undercover spy for the devil? That's kind of how my human brain can kind of can conceptualize it. Like, how do we know that you actually really want this change? You're really switching sides here. And that needs to come from the eradication of the guilt and the shame and blah, blah, blah. If you believe in Christianity, then this would then make you think of confessionals. This is what confession is for. The concept of if you surrender the weight upon your heart or the debris upon your heart chakra, if you surrender that to God and the universe, the unconditional loving parent, as you would say, that they would take that away from you. That once you admit and surrender that it was wrong and that you want change, you're seeking this change and you don't want to feel this way anymore, and you surrender it to this higher power, it unlocks the faith and the hope and the overcoming that you need. Through faith, though, through like this belief in this system. But that's just another system to help you eradicate those lower vibrational frequencies clogging up your energy systems. It's just another way about doing it. Now, I had no faith. I had no trust. I didn't know what the hell was going on. So my system was karmic debt. Because I had to face these things and still say, no, I want better. So I'm going to keep proving that to myself, which in turn is proving that to the vibrational frequency, what I'm tapping into, the overcoming frequency that I'm trying to tap into, which is pulling me away from the guilt and the shame. It's another system. I now believe that. I now know that I can surrender the darkness in my heart to God or earth for natural transmutation. I now believe that and trust that because I understand the systems in place now. That they're not trying to we're not that smart. We are not all knowing. So we have to use little brain trickery to help us to agree and accept a thing. You know, right? Like, if we all just could agree that, like, no matter how much guilt and shame you have on your heart, the second you surrender that to a higher power, you good. You can vibrate now high. You don't have to think about that stuff anymore. You were granted forgiveness. If all of us could believe that, then the second we did it, it would all shed because it's a personal thing. This is an empowerment thing. We have the power to transmute those low vibrational frequencies and those emotions out of us and transmute them. We are always rewarded for overcoming. Don't forget that. We are always rewarded, even if it's the smallest of overcoming. Even if you're just doing a little bit better than you did yesterday, you're rewarded for that in a small way. And without mindfulness and that hope and that faith, you're not going to see it. That's the difference. The karmic debt is trying to get you to pursue, to overcome, to fight for it, basically. Fight for the gift, the blessing of working with high vibrational energy, because it is a gift and a blessing. And imagine if that fell into the wrong hands. Imagine if that is tappable energy by those who do evil. And now evil can create their reality from source power. No, that's why evil doesn't prevail, because it does not get fueled by source power. It is a self thing. It's a manipulation of others. It's unsustainable energy working in lower vibrational frequencies, manipulation, dark psychology. Like, look at Hitler, like that kind of stuff. He's not on the side for good. So he did lose. Like, I don't know how else to explain that because that's a hard one to prove to people, but like, high vibration will always prevail. Unconditional love for all will always prevail. Oh, and then I have personal story example. So years after unregulated emotions, anger outbursts, selling overpriced underweight drug bags to people, weaseling money where I could, sometimes stealing from a job to pay for cigarettes, lying, cheating, stealing. This is my favorite I wrote. Cheating on scumbags with scumbags. I then was gifted a crossroad moment of rock bottom. I thought I was already rock bottom. Trust me, there's layers to hell. We talked about this a couple of days ago. I dropped to the lowest layer. And that is when my mind was like, we can't do this anymore. We need to shift. So I had that crossroad moment after a really bad trauma. Like, as if the ones that I already went through weren't enough. No, because I still was placing blame on others. I was still pointing fingers at others. I was still a victim to my circumstance. That is a succumber. That is not an overcomer. So it's going to keep happening until I hit such a rock bottom and recognize the power of overcoming. So, even though I made the perspective shift in my mind, I was still doing drugs, cheating on scumbags with other scumbags, blowing money when I didn't have it, etc. I wasn't selling drugs to other people, I wasn't weaseling people out of their own money, and I wasn't stealing anymore, so like I cut down some shit, right? But I'm still sitting in that low vibrational frequency. I am still attracting my own shitty circumstances in now this new way of thinking. So now it appears to be that of karmic debt, of me making right for my past. But really, it's the transition from lower vibrational frequencies and trying to transition out of that. It's like this concept of like you've got one foot on one side of the fence still, and the other foot is in the other side, the one that you want to be in. But that other foot's still over there. It doesn't mean you didn't make a conscious change in your mind. You did. But you know how many neural pathways you have to untrain and then teach yourself a completely new way of being as an adult? That's very hard. Like, people are always like, you can't teach old dog new tricks. You absolutely can. It's your own stubborn mindset that shuts you down from being able to learn and grow at that age. Because now we're tired and we're like, wait, what? I gotta rediscover and redefine myself all over again? So, I finally quit drugs, cut the people off, created boundaries, and then I was left alone. Enter another level of hell. But now this level is like a step up. It's the same feeling of dread and punishment, like the feeling of that, but it's actually not anymore. It's now we're moving into the healing opportunity. We're giving an opportunity to really shake out the rest of those unconscious beliefs that you still have that are still anchoring you in hell. See what I'm saying? So now, because you made the change, you now proved the change, even just a wee bit. You got rid of whatever, you got the things, and you accepted the new way of being, which means having nothing because you don't know anything. You don't know what you're supposed to create now. So you have to literally surrender to the fact that you know nothing. So now I'm left alone with no money because I'm no longer stealing, so that's not an option. No support because the support came with drugs. No, a lot of things. And more hardship seemed to come because I had not fully transitioned vibrationally into the new idea of being. Limbo, the place between heaven and hell, which can also be seen as the void, which is the opportunity to surrender and allow your brain to stop thinking it knows the way and finally be shown the way from the whispers of the void. Because your brain is still anchored in hell. You don't know. You don't know. So the void starts to whisper things like, in all honesty, you think it's going to be like, it is revolutionary and it is life-changing. But in our human whatever, we think it's going to be like this giant smack to the face where the void's just like, here's your huge, big purpose for being a person, and you need to now do the thing to be the thing. That is not what's in there. What's in there, I'm telling you right now, is like the whispers of how to freaking love yourself again. How to find joy in life again. How to create these new neural pathways that lead you to things of joy, bliss, emotions I hadn't felt in countless years. Because it's not some whatever conceptualized idea people think it is. It's the state of vibrational being that needs to change. So, and the universe, God, that's known. And to change that vibrational frequency, it is not out of reach for you. It's going to be a journey back to self, of trusting self, of loving self, of caring for self, of integrating your inner child, healing your traumas and your wounds. Why? Because that is unconditional love of the universe. You are not being punished for your past. And that's the journey. The healing journey is trying to get you to believe that, to trust that you actually, your only purpose here on this planet is to be good and happy, to have a pure intentioned heart, to thrive and create and to love, to eat, to drink, to dance, to love. Oh my goodness, that is literally our only purpose here. But when we sit in hell for so long, you are infected with the oppositional idea of that of human suffering, which is a freaking choice, not in the sense of your circumstances, but it's a choice in whether you want to overcome or succumb. That's your choice. That's all you got. So you get to choose. Bad shit happens. You get to choose, though. Do you want to become the bad shit and be the right-hand man of the devil? Because I'm telling you from experience, you don't get nothing from that. You don't get endless salvation. You don't get anything from that. Or do you want to sit, well, I think Jesus is at the right hand, right, of the Father. But like you want to go kick it with Jesus and his dad, you know, like the idea of washing that woman's feet, you know, the unconditional love, not judging others for being a prostitute or homeless or poor or dirty, like no, non-judgmental, which is, what is that again? Mindfulness. So Jesus is like, yo, home dogs, let's be mindful. Let's be unconditionally loving, teaching us that is what pulls us out of suffering. But what karmic debt does is make sure you freaking believe it. You're ready to freaking support and believe this. Because we can't just have people flip-flopping sides all the time. You got to go through some kind of obstacle course. I believe that. I do. And I believe I needed to suffer even in the beginning of my goodness era, because I had to recognize that like, yeah, I piled up way too much in here of the suffering. And I need to keep overcoming. And upon being left alone, what I was mentioning before, and hitting that alone feeling, no money, no food. I've never experienced going hungry before in my life until that time in my life. And that you could think you could, what I did do is I looked up to the sky and I said, what? What? I've done everything. I've done it all. I've done what I needed to do. Why am I still suffering? Because the next thing I needed to learn was that I am still choosing suffering by not picking up my britches and overcoming. Because I heard a voice in my mind after I wailed to the roof of my apartment, to the ceiling of my apartment, wailing to it. Why? And guy goes, what do you mean? I gave you everything you need to succeed. You got eyes in your head, you got mouth, nose, ears, lungs, you got legs that work. What do you mean? And that, upon that piece of suffering, I then unlocked that it was a gift and a blessing to show me that I'm the only one standing in my own effing way. You're alone? You got nothing, and you still sitting here complaining. You in your own way, girlfriend. I know that's hard to believe. It's hard to believe when you think of that. Like if you're an outside perspective and you're thinking about my experience with that, choosing to do good and starting to change my life and quitting the drugs and doing better in my lifestyle and getting rid of all these people. And you might feel bad for me thinking about that. But I needed that. Because it was the act of succumbing that led me to drugs and alcohol. It was the act of succumbing which led me to this victim mentality that separated me from my own power. Guys, like, what the hell, bro? You're fully equipped. You just don't believe it, and that's why I'm putting you in this freaking struggle right now, not as a punishment, but as to prove to you your own capabilities of overcoming. So there's the karmic debt, where you gotta release the guilt and shame, but you still are attracting shit to feel guilty and shameful about, and which then make you remember the past of when you were being that person, and that's going to initiate trauma healing, which initiates the transmutation of your perspective and how you view things, which then puts you into the void, which is limbo, nothingness, which you then recognize it's all for you. It's all from you. It's all for you. It is all just you. It's source energy and you. So you need to be stripped. You need to be all of that to actually believe and trust in this universal truth of unconditional love and the tapping into these higher vibrational frequencies and creating your life and your reality rather than being a victim of your life and your reality. These are all just little tests and little video game level ups for us as humans because we're not capable of conceptualizing the entirety of the picture. That's all. It's like downloading a video game from 2025 onto a 1991 Windows operating system. It's not going to happen. I'm a 1991 baby, okay? There's only so much my brain will be able to download, process, and accept. That's just how this is set up. Whatever this reality is, that's how it's set up. So, when you start following these whispers from the void, and a lot of the time they're for self-love, self-care, inner child healing, which is mind-blowing to someone who feels they're deemed to be punished for their past actions, not rewarded with the road to seeking self and understanding self. See, we in here need to understand and accept that we are the punishers. We're not being punished, and we don't deserve to be punished. So when we start to feel like the void is whispering to us of reward, that too can start to break down your old belief system, because you are being enveloped in unconditional love and support even though you don't believe you deserve it. So then that's going to break down an exterior. That when I had that moment of catharsis, it was like, whoa, I fully surrendered after that, because like that was mind-blowing. So because we are not actually intended to suffer, we choose to suffer. Old programs in our minds taught to us by others. We must abolish this way of thinking of ourselves and recognize the divinity within, even after years of impure intentions, truly expressing the unconditional love of the universe and God. The void leads us out of the old programming into an empowered program of surrendered freedom to pure heart space living. For you and for all. This part of the journey is where you prove to yourself that you're worthy. You already are, but if you're holding on to the belief that you're not, as well as alongside with the guilt and shame, you don't believe it and you lack the self-faith. How can you have faith in anything else if you don't have faith in yourself? So once again, this is a construct to try and reestablish self-empowerment, self-faith. And then I found this meme. So this meme says, God won't let them get away with what they did to you. He knows. But it's not up to you to get revenge or force an apology. God will handle them. He will prepare the table. You better believe God's going to protect and restore you right in front of those who hurt you. Why do we then see memes like this? Why do we see stuff like this? This is another construct to get you to not succumb back into the lower vibrational frequencies, which you might not think you are, because revenge and vengeance seems righteous, but don't confuse it. It's still a low, impure heart, low vibrational frequency output. So once again, why do these exist? Because it's another construct trying to get you to maintain a high vibrational frequency, no matter what your human brain is trying to conceptualize and teach you is like righteous. Because we don't know. These are old programs. We see them on movies. We say, look at Batman, vengeance. But like he doesn't, whatever. So that meme is exactly for that, to help people grasp the new higher vibration in this new journey rather than seeking lower vibrational revenge, which is comfortable for them. That's your comfort zone now, is low vibrational frequency and receiving shit in your life. So your body, your brain, you are not your brain, you're the observer of your brain. So your brain might want to return to comfort. So it'll seek a way back to comfort through a different avenue. So it'll seek a way back to low vibrational frequency, but in a way that's tricking you into thinking it's pure intentions, but vengeance is not. Revenge is not. But that's your brain, self-seeking comfort. Watch out. This is what karmic debt's all about. We're training the brain, because that's typically the first challenge faced in limbo. Recognition of all the shitty people who've harmed you, but sinking into revenge will keep you stuck in low vibration. But it's exactly what we're drawn to do in the beginning of the healing journey, because of what I explained about the science of the untrained brain, or the need of reprogramming the brain. Through personal forgiveness to those who've wronged you internally, because I'm not going to go find these people to forgive them. Like, no, you don't do that. They're just going to, no. You don't let these people back in your life. You let them go internally. And you become lighter and higher vibration. Hence the story of turn the other cheek. Because your salvation of your soul is more important than some idiot being taught a lesson. So the karmic debt is a construct to retraining your brain, in a sense. Because the universe and God are like on our side, like supporting. Like it wants us to do this. It wants us to have this revolutionary self change. It wants that perspective shift. It wants it. And I believe that's why these ancient spiritual texts exist, because they figured it out. And they're trying to tell us, future us, like the future of humanity, that if we could just believe in this concept, it'll be a whole lot easier to kind of like skip over a part of that struggle, you know? But what's very contradicting is the fact that God and the universe also praises the overcomer. So if we have nothing to overcome, then we'll never have that empowerment. Like, that's what the duality of everything is for, and why we have the gift of free will. Because when you choose to do good is way more powerful than when you're forced to do good. And a lot of us modern humans consider religious texts as someone forcing us to do something. So it takes away the belief or the trust, because it feels like your free will's being taken away. But don't think it like that. Utilize it as a guide, and then in your own way, make a choice to do good and set your intentions and do good for humanity, but first good for yourself, and that'll bleed onto others. And that's why I don't believe in a lot of the human translation of God or religion or whatever. I don't really believe in what humans have twisted into it becoming, because if God is unconditional love and the universe is literally built out of rainbows and like peace, love, happiness is like the vibe here, then I don't believe that there's rules. I don't. Because because let me tell you, this is how I know, because how I lived in the past and the harbored emotions of all those low vibrational frequency emotions I was embodying, that's what I changed. I changed what's causing me to sit in that lower vibration. But here's the thing. So you're right, there's a lot of stuff I don't do anymore, right? But like, that's not like written in the Bible. The Bible doesn't say like, right, because like they didn't know about modern day challenges and struggles. But for me to reach this goal of pure intention, pure heartedness, then I did have to cut out certain things. Not because it's like written a specific list. No, it's just whatever it is that's causing you to sit in that vibrational frequency, that needs change. Because I feel incredibly blessed in this life versus my previous ones in this lifetime. And I'm going to tell you, the majority of the change has come from here and here. I still curse, yet I receive blessings. I don't curse people out. I use cursing like in a joke formation. So like, that's what I'm saying. So it's not just all cursing is bad. It's the intention of one's heart. And that's what we need to start understanding, is the intention of one's heart depicts whether or not something is deemed good or bad, or low vibration versus high vibration. So karmic debt also kind of gets us to unlock and awaken to our own true power. That karmic debt is our own punishment for our own way of being that we can't seem to let go of. Or the punishment of the hatred for people in our past, or whatever it is. It's still us causing it. And karmic debt makes you kind of realize that. Like, I really just need to transform and transmute my old beliefs that are still ingrained in me, even though I'm doing better in my life. Because it doesn't matter. You need to get the inside to match the outside to match the inside kind of thing. So, right. Excuse me. I worked at a nursing home at a point, right? And every time I was at work, I led with pure intention because these elderly people, like, I don't know, they need the love, right? And you would think, right? So here's another example. Okay, so she's unconditionally loving and caring to these people, these strangers she doesn't even know, going outside of my job description to support these people, right? So why am I going home to, punish or suffering, right? Because it's a personal choice of suffering. And also, maybe that instance in my life, that time where I was dedicating my life to these elderly, even though I was still a drug addict, I still had these self-deprecating moments and thoughts, but I was in that transition time period, feeling all that karmic debt. What if the karmic debt was actually the blessing from me having a compassionate soul towards these elderly? And that instance that hit me rock bottom and really freaking ripped me apart was needed. That was actually the gift given to me for showing that love. Like, here, I'm going to give you the gift of ripping yourself apart so that you can build it back better. Because I'm starting to see you got potential and you ain't using it. So it was actually a gift. Traumatizing? Hell yeah. But God in the universe believes in me to become an overcomer. Right? Why else? Why else am I given this task? This construct? This video game level? Why else would I be given it? Everything's a gift. So it's our decision to either overcome or succumb, but that transition from low vibrational frequency to the higher states of being, this middle ground here is going to be tough. You got to get through it. You got to know you can get through it too. That you're not being punished. You're just breaking away from the old patterns and the old belief system. And the more you keep doing it, the more you start to trust that you will overcome. And that then starts to change your whole bodily chemistry, your molecule vibration, everything. And then you're gifted another challenge to then make you eradicate more of that shame and eradicate more of that guilt. Then you're given another challenge, and then a humbling. And then something to make you feel vulnerable. But then something to make you feel empowered, like to keep you at this empowered, divine, capable of anything person who has their feet flat on the ground. It's got logic in their mind. They didn't translate all this into ego. So all these constructs are literally in place to create the most divine human. This is my opinion. Because the most divine human is one who admits that the human condition is the human condition. We are imperfect beings. It's also God's humor. Like, why did he make some of us so funny? If there was no, right, like, everything, right. So the divine empowerment with a touch of humbling, a touch of grounding, a touch of vulnerability, because we are not God. We are not the overall power of all. We are not the overall knowing of all. We feel things that it's hard for us to conceptualize. Yeah, because we got baby brains, all right? We got little baby brains. Look how small our brains are, and you want to shove the whole universe into it? Like, it's hard to understand all of the universe and also, like, pay taxes. But that's the gift of the human experience. It's like, if we can just be like little derpy whatever, we make up our own little rules and we give ourselves our own little jobs and we're like, we're good human beings, we do human things and we pay taxes and we get our glasses at Target and we handle problems and whatever. Like, yeah, that's the gift of unknowing that gives us the right to enjoy all of this materialistic stuff, right? Because, like, you can't really enjoy it all when you really, really know. Like we all know nothing's real, but at the same time, we don't believe it. We still get very attached and tied into the tangible. That's the gift. That's the point. Because if you were all knowing in all of everything, then what else do you have? You've got no more opportunity to learn, no more opportunity to grow, no more opportunity to find stuff. Like, we love finding stuff. I wanted to be an archaeologist for so long until I was like in freshman year of high school, and I was like, I can't do that. By the time I'm an adult, everything's going to be found. The hell? There's not ever gonna be a thing where we find everything and know everything, because then then humanity would collapse, or evolve into something else that's not human. Because this is what it means to be human. To go in the dirt and take a little paintbrush and find a little T-Rex skeleton and be like, oh my goodness, what is this? Oh my goodness, where did this used to be here? This is so exhilarating. Because it's all a construct to make you feel certain things. Yeah, good little human. Do you feel so empowered and so cool right now? Did you unlock wonder and mystery again? Good, that's exactly where I wanted you to be. What else can we hide in the dirt for you? What other video game level to accomplish and pass do we have for you? Right? It's all just trying to get you to get back to source and understand the wonder, the mystic, the mystery, the asking questions, that's our purpose. That's that self purpose, is doing that for self. And then in turn, after doing that in self, it turns into, now we ask questions about other things. And now I'm all into stones, and I'm always asking oh my goodness, how is this created? Look how cool this is. This is from Earth, and Earth doesn't talk, but yet it kind of does. It's just new things that get introduced to us as human beings in a way that we can understand and conceptualize, but it's all just source energy trying to get you to return home, which is that of the Garden of Eden, heaven, right? Which is kind of a state of consciousness. And those emotions of mystery, of wonder, love, excitement, joy, these emotions help you return to that. To return to that concept in your mind. Because, when I wake up every day in the morning now, I'm this is heaven. This is the garden. And especially, and how can one say that when there's always turmoil in the world, right? Because that's not the point, right? It's not the point to focus on all the turmoil and all the bad and all the hatred. It's not the point. It's to recognize the blessings in latent, because duality exists. There will always be good and evil. But which do you embody? And it's a transition out of hell to embody the new higher vibrational frequency. But upon doing so, you wake up every day in heaven. It don't matter whatever goes on, because you're recognizing that it's a state of being. It's not a place to attain. It's a state of being. So, of course, I still have hard days. I still have bad days. That's a part of the ongoing, continuous journey of healing, because I did complicate that a little bit. I picked up a little too many traumas. So, who knows when that's going to be over? We're going to always be facing and reframing. And then number 2, we're always going to need humbling. We do. Because I don't want an ego. I pray for that every morning in the shower. God, no. Because I don't need that. I don't need to feel above. We're all one. And with an ego, it separates you from your fellow man. And it shuts down a certain level of understanding and comprehension of the universe. So I'm telling you, that's why I think depression is a gift. that these vulnerabilities that I personally have been bestowed is the gift. It's my personal concoction, my personal cocktail ingredients to reaching this mental state of acceptance and belief and faith. So, and that's also what karmic debt is to get you. It's like the Tough Rudder Mountain Challenge or whatever that's called, or it's like the one where you gotta like triathlon, you gotta like run, you gotta swim, you gotta bike, yeah, because it's hard to get out of hell. It's all over you. It's dripping and drenching, and your brain pathways are all believing in hell because you sat in it for so long. You never experienced heaven. You don't know. You don't trust. You don't have that faith yet, and that's fine. So it's gonna feel like a triathlon to get there. But I personally am so grateful for that, because now the trust and faith I have in that journey is even more solidified because I overcame. And once you overcome, and then this whole thing, the lotus unfolds, you're like, oh, it's just me in my own way. It's me not trusting myself. It's me not trusting my capabilities. And that's why I keep getting these challenges to help me get into overcoming mode to trust my capabilities. It's just another construct to get you where you need to be. Because that's the thing. We are so loved. It's stupid. It's stupid how much we're loved. I'm I'm sorry, And meanwhile, God's like, it's fine. You're doing so well. Here's more blessings. And you're just like, wow. And you have to believe you deserve that. Because if you don't, then you're not going to have gratitude. You're going to have guilt. And once again, return back into karmic debt, even though you received a blessing. That's the issue. So that's why I also pray for the maintenance of said blessing, the self-discipline to maintain that blessing. And that's not make sure I go to the grocery store. I mean, of course, your responsibilities play into your overall self-care, but it has a lot to do with your grounding and your trust in this practice, in this the leap of faith, one may say. But it's not about that. It's the maintenance of that vibrational frequency. And that might look like, I got to get to the grocery store. I got to make sure my prescription's right. I got to take care of my car. I got to take care of this. Because those things being overcame feeds back into empowerment of self. Once again, a little construct curtailed just to get the human into the good state. We're like little programs, And it's just funny how simple it is, but at the same time, being in it is complicated. So complicated. All I gotta do is make sure I have this pure heart that's not bridled with lower vibrational frequency. That's all I gotta do. But to do that, because of being the human beings that we are, we need to set up these little things outside of us to get us to believe and trust in that. And that's fine. That's fine. That's the fun part. Right? Isn't that the fulfillment of life? Because I think about this a lot recently. Is I don't have an exceeding amount. I'm working on that, speaking abundance into my daily life, and, I'm a money magnet. But at the same time, I'm also fine. I'm fed. My bills are paid. If I need something done, I get it done. I don't have an exceeding amount, but at the same time, I'm always taken care of in some way. And it's almost shocking because I think I almost want to get scared for a second, but then But then the fear would knock me out of that state of receiving. So I'm trying to maintain that open receiving, but at the same time, like nothing's going wrong. Like I'm not stressed about it. I have what I need. So it makes me, and I feel like uber fulfilled. I feel so good. I feel so good. I feel so fulfilled. I don't walk around feeling like I make less money than somebody who works in a corporate job. Like I see that person like we're eye to eye, because it's not about the external. It's about what the external helped you build as an inner construct. Because like and that's why when people make a shit ton of money and they think that happiness follows, it's just wrong. It's just not how it's gonna be, because money doesn't, you can't pay to fix your own neural pathways. Like no doctor can cut open your brain and pull apart the neural pathway and put it to a new one. That's not a scientific thing that can happen. Only you have the power to do that. So it's not going to look like chasing money. It's not going to look like whatever. Like, and I'm noticing that now in life. Like, it just feels so good. Everything feels good. And I feel fulfilled. And that takes away the fear or the stress over finances. And because I'm not sitting in fear and stress, it kind of always works out. Because like if you're not in fear and stress, your mind is open to possibilities. Like, oh, okay, I'll just like run a sale today. Like, oh, okay, like I'll pick up an event, or oh, I'll do this. Or like, because you're open to abundance and you're open to the fact that it can come from anywhere because you deserve it just by being you, you're taken care of. It's interesting. It's very interesting. And I noticed that very prevalently upon starting my own business. Because if I'm in a bad mental state, if I got negative thoughts, if I'm shutting myself off from receiving and shutting myself off from the belief that I am abundant, I don't make any sales, which means I don't make any money. And also, how can I be the best life coach I can be if I'm sitting in a low vibrational state? So then that's going to affect my clientele as well. So it really has everything to do with just your own belief in your own constructs. Like I could potentially put myself back into karmic debt, having my own business, being my own boss. Like, oh, that seems all great and all, right? But if I still believe I don't deserve to receive, if I still believe in the old constructs of the old programming of my brain, then it's still not going to work. And you're going to feel like, once again, it's karmic debt. It's going to feel like punishment. But it's not. It's just because your brain and your body ain't on the same page. Gotta get them on the same page. Gotta have trust in yourself. And that's why we go through these deep challenges. These of overcoming, of karmic debt. Like we can do it again and again and again. If you keep believing these self-deprecating ideas and succumbing to those negative vibrational frequencies, and then remember your divinity again, you're going to have to go through that process of transition again. And that's why it's so important for maintenance, maintaining your vibrational frequency. Like, it's great and all to go, whoop, but then drop. This is not okay, because then you have to go through that karmic shedding again. And like, I don't know. I personally don't have like time for that anymore. Like, that was exhausting. And I feel like instead the new name of the game is what do we have to set up in our lives to get our brains to maintain that high vibrational frequency. Whatever, it could look so different for others. Like for some people, it could, I don't know. I don't have examples because like I really don't have a lot of people. But for me, it's simple life stuff. Like, I live a super simple life. I do things like super one at a time. I don't overwhelm. Like, I just gotta, because once I start doing those things, my brain tricks myself into thinking you're incapable. You can't do this. Blah, 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 blah. We don't need all that. We are divine. We are connected to source. So we can inherit that power, man. We wear the armor of God. Like, whoa, you can do it. So it's just all constructs to help your brain to get on that page and vibrate at that frequency to attract. And I feel like everything in our tangible universe is trying to point us to that direction. Our challenges, our experiences, the books, the Bible, the other religious texts, like, it's all just like, it's like a game, you know? Speaking of games, I'm going to go do a puzzle. Because I'm feeling that, right? I did a lot the last couple weeks, and I had a weird weekend last weekend where I didn't really like recharge fully, and I recognize that. It's my own situation. I got a little humbled, got a little humbled. So this week just felt a little harder, but I still got up and I overcame and I accomplished, because that helps this stay in that vibrational frequency that's needed. Not because it's like, I have to, or it's not going to get done and everything's going to fail. Wrong mindset. It's because it makes me feel good. It makes me feel that trust and that belief in myself again, and also in the all is and the universal truths. So today I'm feeling extra tired. So I gave myself some grace. I don't have any clients today. So and I don't have any orders in the order box. Some might freak out. I used to freak out about that stuff. But now I'm seeing I am being led and guided by this ultimate unconditional love, right? So that's a blessing. Thank you. You gave me a day to do what fulfills me and not really have a bunch of responsibilities on the docket list. Thank you. Because that is more energizing to me than just sleeping or just like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like this lifestyle in correlation, working with this energy is like, it works alongside of you, and it offers these opportunities. You just have to be mindful to notice that's what it is and work with it. That's what the whole surrender part is about, so that you can surrender, not succumb, but like succumb we've been using as like a bad word, but like, yeah, surrender to the flow, bro. It's all good. Keep overcoming, keep surrendering, maintain that humbleness, be led. I'm all about it. I don't need to be the leader. I don't want to know it all. That sounds terrifying. I want to be able to surrender my thoughts to the higher power. I want that. So, yeah. So I'm going to go work on a horse puzzle. I'm going to eat some lunch. And then tonight we're doing bowling for my partner's birthday. It's going to be great. We got some friends going. Just love that shit. Do more of that in your life, man. Simple stuff. Just keep it real simple. Don't overdo. Like for the party, like I was thinking about decorating the whole thing, and then I got overwhelmed thinking about it, so I just got like some balloons. Like, who cares? It's not about that. It's about the fact that all of our friends are showing up for the man that I love, and that is freaking beautiful. But maintaining connection with this simplistic like that keeps me in that vibrational state for receiving blessings and accepting said blessings. Because, right, one more example. Because in my past, if somebody tried to do something nice for me, I didn't believe I deserved it. So hyper-independence would kick over. I could do it. Because you feel guilty when someone does something nice for you, when you still have that lower vibrational beliefs, those lower vibrational beliefs about yourself. But now, it all had to do with proving it to myself, not to anyone else, just proving it to myself that I was deserving. And now when people do something nice for me, I'm like, yeah, you should do that. I do deserve that. Like, not in an egotistical way, just like, I'm like, fuck yeah, that's awesome, that's beautiful, thank you. And I get like, receiving. You're able to receive. And that's what I've been working on a lot this year. Whoa, that made me cry. I don't know why. But that's what I've been working on a lot like this year, is because I didn't recognize that was actually an inlaid in trauma response, that I didn't believe I was worthy of deserving or receiving. And now my boyfriend says something like, I got you a gift and it's not my birthday. I'm like, nice. Can't wait to see it. You know, like, oh my gosh, you shouldn't have. And then I scramble around to try and like get him a gift to like make myself not feel shameful or guilty, right? It's all about proving it to yourself. You are deserving. You already are, according to God in the universe. Just you need to get on that page. So whatever construct helps you get through that, get on that page, don't worry, you don't got to hunt it. Just make the intention you want that change. God will give you the challenge. Just recognize that that's the gift. It's the blessing. You need your own personal challenge to overcome. So I'm excited about my horse puzzle. Thanks, guys. This was a great week. Had a lot of fun. I'll see you on Monday. Have a great Friday.